Excellent. Welcome, friends, to the third day of Regenera Rising. Today, our theme is called Tending Story Seeds, and we're so excited to have you join us today. Regenera Rising is a global confluence of creators, regenerative futures in the third annual celebration of the decade-long global movement, bringing together revolutionary creators, systems thinkers, and organizations to reimagine, collaborate, and co-create a world that works for all life. Today, we're joined by Regenerosity, which is a program that works to strengthen grassroots organizations and threatened and degraded landscapes. Presenting this morning is Regenerosity's team, Ruth Andrade, who is a strategic lead and chair of the board, Wagesa Jane Fraser, our East Africa regional lead, Rachel Steele, our communications lead, and myself, Faith Flanagan. I'm the 360 lead for Regenerosity. We're also joined by our incredible partners, Noah Simpaja, Noah, from Yise, Uganda, Bemriki Biswami Dusabe from Ramwanja Rural Foundation, and we'll hear from Kamal Thakur of Earth Forever. And we are about ready to kick it off. We're excited to have you. Ruth, do you want to start us off?
Thank you, Faith. Yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen. I hope this works. Ooh, I didn't choose to share audio. Let's start again. I will stop sharing. And I will share again. Share sound and optimize for video clip. Perfect. All right. We can do this now. Oh, folks, I don't know. Anyway, it says that I need to install. So let's see how this is going to work. I think it's working. We'll see. Okay. Let's get this started. Can everyone see my presentation? Great. So I'll start. My name is Ruth, and I've been with Regenerosity since the beginning. And we like to say that what we are here for and what we want to support to exist in the world is this idea of regeneration from the grassroots up. So how do we make sure that the regenerative movement is really coming from the grassroots and coming from, civil society and communities that are daily applying life principles into the work that they're doing at their communities. And we want to, again, be very community-centric and making sure that we're supporting communities to thrive alongside with their healthy ecosystems, but in ways that are supported by just and equitable flows of capital. So we really believe in the power of philanthropy, and especially in the power of trust-based philanthropy to support the communities to thrive in their healthy ecosystems. And we originated from two main partners, BFI and Lush Spring Prize, and also with some support of the shortlisted projects from the Equator Prize. And we've been spotlighting and funding pioneering initiatives that came out from those three prize programs: Fuller Challenge, Lush Spring Prize, and Equator Prize. And again, because our main focus is to help move resources towards grassroots regeneration in ways that are also coming from the belief that those communities already hold all the knowledge and the wealth, the material wealth, the experiential wealth, and the intellectual wealth to thrive. Our aim is to connect them, but also connect resources in ways that support the building of the network. And we've developed a series of programs in order to engage stakeholders at these multiple levels. So we're both working with communities on the ground involved in place-based impact. We're also working with a network of practitioners, but also working with funders in ways that create a mutually beneficial ecosystem. And sorry, I'm also trying to let people in. And we do this through 4 main programs. And again, always with this idea of helping to resource grassroots communities in their, the unfolding of their regenerative practices. We do this through 4 programs. The first one is a seed program, which is a flow fund. That's a trust-based way of sharing funds very quickly to the edges of the communities. And this means granting $3,000 to community leaders for them to spend in ways that will support the resilience of their community. And it's fully guided by the flow funders. So they decide how the money gets spent rather than us. And then we create those stories. We also bring them together. And we are already in our second cohort of our flow fund. Our cornerstone program is Blossom Capacity Strengthening. And again, it's the belief that through peer-to-peer support and peer-to-peer networking, those organizations can strengthen their own capacities. And we fund 2-year programs, so 2-year cohorts, co-designing projects with our partners on the ground, working on livelihoods, improving food, ecological resilience, but connecting them in these peer circles. And also, like today, making sure that we are supporting them in increasing their connectivity outside of just their communities. We also have Pollinate, which is a storytelling series. We are co-producing with a growing culture a film series called Liberation Agriculture. And this is to highlight alternative stories of regenerative agriculture that are centered in justice. So it's this idea of how can agriculture and regenerative agriculture do much more than just soil health? How can it build connection, community, resilience, spirituality, democracy? So really showcasing the, let's say, the outsized impact that a liberatory form of agriculture can have. Finally, we have our funder community of practice. So again, because some of our focus is really to move actable and just and trust-based resources into the grassroots, how can we get connected with other progressive funders that are already practicing and experimenting trust-based philanthropy? So again, we can help build that movement. I think that's all. I'll pass it over to Faith that will explain a little bit more deeply our capacity strengthening program.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ruth. So as Ruth said, the Blossom program, which is our capacity strengthening program, is our cornerstone program. And we've run it for the last 2.5 years and are about to launch the next iteration of Blossom in Brazil and Africa. And this is a 2-year program where we co-design with our partners on the ground and employ regenerative practices, mainly at the intersection of food sovereignty and food security, livelihoods, and ecology. So the beautiful thing about the Blossom program is that we have been working to define new parameters of monitoring and evaluation, and the metrics that have been shown through the last 2.5 years have been incredible. 76% increase in household income from one of our partners, CAFRID, in Bogoti National Park. 100% increase in daily household meals with Yise Uganda. Noah will talk a little bit more about the program that he's doing across Uganda. And then 30% increase in the water availability and biodiversity and livelihoods from our partners in India, Tara and Bharat Singh. We really deeply believe in this program. We have supported 11 outstanding beautiful projects across India, East Africa, and the Amazon. And over 2,500 people have been directly impacted. And we've granted actually more than $880,000 to date. And we are iterating and growing this program to become more trust-based and more deeply intuitive with listening to our partners on the ground. You can switch the slides. So what we do with the Blossom program is we, as Ruth said, that we have been working with Lush Spring Prize, which has been running for about 10 years, I think. the Buckminster Fuller Institute, Fuller Challenge, which ran for 10 years, and UNDP Equator Prize, which works with Indigenous communities across the world. And so we find these incredible, impactful projects that are working in the world, and we start to work with them and co-design together a month-long co-design process, which we are really iterating on, as I mentioned before, to actually really dive deeply into what it looks like to actually help to support them in building what their heart's desire, let's say, what's needed in the world. And then we fund them generally grants of, 50,000 plus for a 2-year period. And that is, that's co-designed along with our partners and our peer advisors. And we work with them to kind of build this cohesion between the groups with our peer learning monthly sessions. And then we, so that's part of the learning with our partners through a facilitated process. And then we also storytell around the learnings and the amplification of the work that's being done. I think I'm passing it on to Wagesa now.
Hello,
Oh, to Ray.
it's so wonderful to have this opportunity to share.
Ray, yeah. Hi, everyone. My name's Ray. We were hoping that one of our partners, Kamal, could join us, but due to the time difference, luckily they have been able to put together a quick presentation for you all. But just to give you a little bit of background about the video you're about to see, Kamal Thakur is a permaculture designer and a founding member of one of the projects from Earth Forever, their bad permaculture farm in Palghar, Maharashtra in India. Earth for India was founded by Aparna. She's the core of the organization and driving it from her vision for the earth and all beings on it. Aparna is an artist who started volunteering on an organic farm about a decade ago to deal with her own health issues and understanding the need for naturally grown, nutritionally rich food for her own health. She started working with other farmers in the region. So from there, her passion grew. And she started a demonstration site, which you're about to hear about, to change mindsets in the region. And a 1-acre permaculture farm was born. So you're about to hear from Kamal and Aparna, actually. And Ruth, if you could share the message, that would be great. Thanks.
Hello, it's so wonderful to have this opportunity to share our work through Regenerosity with all of you amazing people. We're Earth Forever. We work in an ecologically sensitive region of Western Maharashtra with marginal and indigenous farmers, mainly women. Our aim is really to shift the mindset of the farmers, to reignite a regenerative thinking within them, because somewhere the communities that we work with, somewhere deep within them, they are very connected to the forest. We aim to do this by establishing permaculture demonstration sites, both kitchen gardens and food forests, along with the members of the community. We seriously hope to demonstrate to them that working with nature, mimicking the forest can be very productive and transformative on many levels, not only food security. Only when they experience this themselves will they really adopt these regenerative practices. We work in partnership with a grassroots organization led by some really driven women of the community. Their organization is called Sukhbhumi India, and their demonstration sites are really shining examples of what is possible in a very small space of land. They're truly the regenerative pioneers of that region, and we're training them to be trainers so they can share these regenerative principles and practices in their own language, backed by their own experience with conviction.
For us, Regenerocity's mission is to enable grassroots organizations to spread the regenerative movement. The best part is they do this not just by procuring funding, but by actually co-designing the projects and providing a platform where organizations can share their experiences and support each other. They work in a very hands-on, personal way where they are with us every step of the way. For an organization like ours, this participative approach has been invaluable. At Earth Forever, we are always encouraging our partners to bring up the challenges they are facing on ground, not just their achievements, because that's the only way we believe we can actually learn and grow together. And with Regenerosity, it's so good for us to be at the receiving end of the same philosophy, to know that there is a safe and a supportive space where we can discuss our ideas and our challenges with all honesty and transparency, knowing that we will be heard. It's really important to have that. Often in the rush to achieve deadlines and produce results, one forgets to pause and take a step back to assess what is really required to achieve the goals of the project. And the peer learning circles provided exactly that perspective. Being able to be a part of the circles compelled us to step back and constantly assess our processes. Sharing in the diverse circles gave us a much better perspective of our own project. More importantly, when you're so immersed and caught up with your work, you don't connect with anyone else. It becomes a very lonely process. Through the peer learning circles, we connect with others who were doing different kinds of projects in different parts of the country. And we realized that though we were all in such different geographical locations, the challenges we faced largely remained the same. Just knowing that and seeing the good work everyone else is doing was hugely motivating for us. Being able to pat each other on the back, appreciate each other's work, gave us the much needed encouragement that we required.
Thank you, Ray. Should we move to Wegesa to introduce the East African projects? Wegesa, over to you, honey.
To unmute. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Jane Wegesa Fraser, and yeah, I'm the East African coordinator for the grassroots projects. Collaborating and working with them to see that they are comfortable in doing what they love to do most. We have projects that we have transitioned through Regenerosity, transitioning farmers, communities through regenerative systems, through permaculture, food forests, and kitchen gardens. And they have really done a lot of marvelous stuff. I'm not going to talk about Rwamwanja and the Yise, because those programs are going to talk about what they have done so far in their own communities. I'll just briefly mention about Gardens for Health, a project we transitioned in Rwanda that is targeting young mothers and giving them grassroots, giving them kits and education to flourish in nutritional value crops. And we have another project called CAFRED, which is working near a national park that actually is transitioning farmers into regenerative coffee farming. And it is really enabling communities that were hampered by COVID because of ecotourism going down to now flourish through regenerative farming systems. We have other programs like Ruth had mentioned about Flow Fund, which is actually transitioning small families that do not have resources to give them resources to run small businesses and do farming systems that like container gardening and just raising chickens just to have an income, especially those that really didn't have any income in Africa. We have another project that is transitioning farmers in drylands that is actually enabling them to create vibrant kitchen gardens, and it's helping them to improve their capability to actually produce food for their families. All the projects actually in East Africa that we have helped transition, they are actually they have increased their ecological capital, they have increased their economical capital, they have actually increased their social capital, and they have inspired others through through our storytelling program, and they're inspiring a lot of other communities to follow what they're doing. We are so proud of them. And before I say so much about that, I'm going to introduce Bemeriki and Noah after Bemeriki to introduce the projects and the communities that they have impacted with their programs. Bemeriki, if you can take that on.
Bemeriki may be frozen right now.
Really? And then Noah can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you so much. I actually look much more older in the picture than I am in the video, so I think I should be in videos always. All right, thank you so much. My name is Noah Sempija, and I'm the co-founder of Yais Uganda. Yais Uganda does provide regenerative farming and implements, sustainable systems following regenerative farming methods. And of course, our goal is to improve security, nutrition, and make sure that the people that we're working with are adapting to the climate change, as well as building their economic resilience. We are mainly working with refugees, and I thought I should share a story of one of our, beneficiaries. She has quite an interesting name. She's called Butimi Riza, but we normally call her Riza. So Riza, the one we see taking care of her family, her garden, so traveled over 200, kilometers from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And, sadly, she saw her husband and her son being killed in cold blood following the wars that were there. And then she was able to survive with 4 of her other sons. She's been in Uganda for the last 3 years, and she's been surviving on food aid provided by the World Food Program. And in 2020, World Food Program, due to financial constraints, has cut their food by 70%. Actually, this year, they have further cut their food by another 10%. And a group of refugees will be put off food completely. And so Riza and her family, have been surviving on only, $0.12 for food, which is not actually enough to buy the food in Uganda. And the children have, are susceptible to being malnourished and of course, poor health. But the good news is that when refugees get to Uganda, Liza and her family are provided with a small piece of land on which they can farm, and it's too small that they will grow food on it over and over and over and over again until it's no longer productive. And so Yise comes in to try as much as possible to help Liza implement practical regenerative farming methods to be able to produce food on this small piece of land sustainably. And we do this through a number of activities. We're going to organize Liza and her communities to come together, to learn together as groups. And on top of that, we do support them to and offer them with practical or hands-on regenerative farming activities or trainings, including demo sites where we bring all a group of people learning together, and we follow them up their homes to adopt and the knowledge and skills that they have learned. Of course, we never forget to celebrate, because we always bring them on to see the harvest. We introduce what we call the vegetable Sundays, where we bring communities that work with together on Sundays, and we encourage them to have vegetables on their meals, which is really exciting and a good way of celebrating the harvest. Also, encouraging them to eat well, to eat good food. And so we do all this in addition to other services. We do offer on-garden support. We innovated a small mobile drip irrigation kit because Lisa stays in a place that is really always hit by the dry spells. And so by providing the irrigation kit, she's able to grow her food throughout the year without having to worry about the dry spells. But at the same time, we also provide practical trainings on water harvesting, because Lisa sometimes produces enough food that she can save, she can sell and earn some money. We also teach them how to save and encourage them to go into small groups to be able to save their money, and they use these savings to buy household items, pay school fees for their kids, pay for medical fees. Through funding with Regenaissance, we've been able to reach over 1,500 refugees, including Lisa, and we've seen practical results and an impact that has been caused. And I think Ruth mentioned, hinted briefly on some of the results that we've seen. But the beauty is of what we've done mainly is we've been able to regenerate over 28 refugee communities, including the indigenous people. And these 28 refugee communities that we've been able to regenerate, I've seen an increase in the food or the meals that they are having every day by from 1 meal to 2 meals, or even from 0 meals, surviving to at least having a meal. And we've also established 25, community learning centers or learning gardens where refugees continue to come and learn and then go and adopt to their in their gardens. The beauty with these community regenerative land gardens is that we are able to also research and try out a number of different local farming techniques that we collect from within the community. So if a community member tells us that, oh, using this grain can help you kill insects, we go on the community gardens, we try it out, and if it does work, then we scale it out into the communities. And so we're also promoting local knowledge, and we know that the people within the communities are having a lot of local knowledge that we can always use without having chemicals. We have planted close to 3,000 fruit trees, and most of these fruit trees have started yielding fruits, and it's very, very exciting. We have seen our households increase their incomes by 35% through sale of surplus food, but also some end up selling the techniques that we teach them. For example, we teach them how to make organic fertilizers, they make the fertilizers and they sell to the communities. And the other interesting thing is that we've been able to create and strengthen our partnerships with key stakeholders working within the refugee space. That's the government of Uganda, UNHCR, and I know when the Regenaissance team visited and they met all these stakeholders, we are really excited about the work that we are doing. And that's it. We are looking at scaling this work, and we're excited about the collaboration we have had with Regenaissance, and we hope we'll have a big chance for us to scale and impact so many more refugees in Uganda and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Noah. I think Bemariki is all still reconnecting. I don't think he's joined yet, but so Wegesa didn't really introduce her work, and I'm wondering, Wegesa, if you'd like to. You're also a bit of a partner. Would you like to?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a trainer in regenerative farming systems and permaculture for women. Me and 3 ladies here in Kenya, we are practical permaculture trainers for women, actually. And we major in training women because we know the challenges that women go through. And we have so far done a lot of trainings, especially we have urban trainings with my colleague Alice Mwangi and Priscilla Centena. She's Samburu from the Maasai communities that are pastoralists. And they go through a lot of challenges when it comes to producing food because of livestock, too much livestock. To them, livestock is like everything. It's just everything to them. They would rather sell girls than sell food. I mean, I got so we are bringing in the desire for them to learn to farm and also embrace farming as a business and as a lifestyle, and it's really helping a lot. And so through these permaculture trainings to women, we are seeing a lot of transformed families in dryland areas, especially, and also in towns where young mothers are not able to afford food. We are bringing in what we call permaculture container gardening systems, where we are helping young mothers actually learn how to grow little food, like especially vegetable that they buy daily in containers around their houses, and they're able to feed their families if they have food. So that's what we are doing basically. And yeah, I'm so happy that I do that. It inspires me a lot. Is Bemeriki back?
Yay!
Yeah, Bemeriki is back.
Bemeriki.
Well, you come here. Is it okay?
There is a little bit of background noise. I don't know if you're trying to connect from multiple devices because of the connection. So perhaps just mute one of the devices, Bemeriki, or turn the audio. So there's a little bit of feedback, but we can hear you.
I'm using only one.
Oh, there is feedback. Bemeriki, do you have a... Let's try again. Hi.
This being recorded.
Can you hear me?
Bemeriki, I think maybe removing one device or turning the sound down when you're speaking. And then you can turn it back on again after you finish presenting. Do you want to do that?
I think I've used only one device. And there is no other thing.
Could it be because it's connected to the altar something?
Yeah, I think what's happening, I wonder if the speaker, if he's got a different speaker besides his phone or laptop.
Yeah, he actually has two devices. There is Bemelik Bisimwa and Bemetiki Bisimwa.
Yeah.
Bemelik, you have two devices.
Yeah. Bemeriki, maybe you need to turn one of them off and try again.
One is off, looks like okay now.
Okay. Do you want to try again?
Yeah. Can you see me?
Ooh. Oh, all right. So, Bemeriki, I wonder if it's okay for Wegesa to talk a little bit about the project, and then we can try again. Or if you turn down your volume, so just turn down all the volumes and then talk to us, but you wouldn't be able to hear us. I can send you a message. So turn the volume down on the phone and the laptop, and I can send you a message on WhatsApp once you finish talking. I think that would be better. do you want to try again? Let's just try 1 more minute. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Can you hear me all?
Yes. We can hear you.
Thank you. Can I go on?
Yes. Yes.
But for me, to my side, I can't hear you. However much you can hear me, it's okay. Well, my name is Bemeriki Bisimwa Dusabe, founder and director of Rwamanja Rural Foundation Limited, a refugee-led non-profit organization that work to uplift the life standard of refugees through permaculture, mushroom, and as well, which is environment, permaculture, and energy. So through the support from Regenaissance, we have reached a direct beneficiary almost 12,000. That's direct in mushroom and permaculture. Then we also reached a direct beneficiary in energy, where we made briquette charcoals. As far as the environment is concerned, 6,000 direct. We also impacted 32 community-based organizations and other international organizations that works in Rwamanja, because with the funding from Regenaissance, what we did most was to establish a learning center and a demonstration whereby many people came and learned from us, and also taking knowledge and also do something like exhibition. So we trained them in mushroom growing, mushroom which is part of vegetables, nutrition, as well as income generating activities. We trained also many women in permaculture, where they grow most of vegetables. The reason to why we came up with this kind of project is that since 2019, during COVID-19, WFP's food donation were cut up to now. Some, even as I speak personally, have spent a year without benefiting from WFP's food donation. So we are trying to find solutions to ourselves, as we are the problem, and also we are trying to find solutions in us. So that's how we came up with this kind of project, and we are really doing well, and we did good, because after training household in vegetable growing, they grow vegetables for home consumption as well as for the market. The same to mushroom. They grow mushroom for home consumption as well as markets. So we have reached at a level of forming a mushroom corporation, whereby we are looking at registering with the bank so that they can be able to borrow money from the bank and also pay back. We tried to establish visas where the money that is being generated from the mushroom is being saved from, to enable them to do other business contrary to mushroom growing. So mushroom grow, they grow it as a group as well as individual. So at the household level is for home consumption, at the group level is for income. So that's it. In short, that's what we are doing without leaving out the environment. So we are trying to recycle the waste using it in 3 ways. 1, composting it, taking back to the soil. 2, making briquette charcoal, as now, which is one way of preventing people from cutting down trees for burning charcoal as well as firewood. 3, growing mushroom. So the charcoal that is made from waste is being used to cook the food that is grown from the waste. Again, the residue of mushroom production we take back to the soil. That's why we like regeneration, and which is coming from regeneration. In short, That's part of what we do in Romanja, as part of Romanja Rural Foundation with the support from Regenaissance. Thank you.
Thank you, Bemeriki.
Thank you, Bemeriki. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Ogesa. We thought we would, after your presentations, ask a couple of questions. And you just went into this a little bit, Bemeriki, but what is, maybe you can elaborate more, or Noah, you can hop in. What is it about regenerative approaches or regeneration that is so important and a core of how you work?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Sure. What is it about, well, why regeneration? Why is it important to you, and how is it affecting your approach in your work?
Thank you. Regeneration is the best way because the land we are sitting on, which is Romanja refugee settlement, have been in use since 1959. It hosted the refugees from Rwanda who went back in 1994. Then 1996, Congolese came in. So the land is bad. So regeneration is the best way and best approach to use to regenerate the soil. Regeneration is the best tool to regenerate food systems, especially in refugee settlements. Because if you are to look at the food that we are growing in indigenous way, if you are to look at mushroom can't grow anywhere in the settlement, especially even in Uganda, because many people are using chemicals. So with using the compost, you grow food as well as feeding back and originating back the soil to its normal use. That's why I find it important, as well as to other refugees, because we are using small scale of land to produce maximum food that sustain the household rather than relying on food donation from WFP. Personally, I live in regeneration and the community are surrounding me. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think, Ray, if I'm to add something, one thing that is key with the work that we are doing is that we are also regenerating the people themselves. Imagine someone who left their home 5 years ago, ran with whatever they could carry immediately, and ran away from the war, and then get to a new country. They have to start afresh. They have nowhere to get food. The organization that has been giving them food is no longer giving them sufficient food. Even when they give them food, look, they are only giving them beans and posho. Then the children are not going to grow, very healthy and stuff like that. But also, the people themselves, they are distressed and they feel they need someone to take care of them. So when we come with our Kandi approach that we are using, and I've listed, of course, what the Merik does in Ramwanja and what we do in Nakivare, we bring people together and we give them hope. Hope, one, that their small pieces of land that they have can produce enough food for them organically. Hope that, two, that they can still find nutritious food to eat, and they're not going to line up in sunshine from morning up evening waiting for free food, which is not nutritious. But also hope in a way that they are coming together to share knowledge, to laugh, to smile when they are working on these gardens, when they're doing the trainings. And this is how important the work that we are doing is very, very key. When you look at my background, those are houses of refugees that we are working with, and that's where they sleep, and they have a lot of problems. But when they come together through the work that we are doing, they feel regeneralized, they feel they are new, and their hope is kind of, they feel new hope, but they are going to get their food, they are going to live when they are smiling, and they have reason to survive, and they are resilient to a number of shocks, economic, climate, and a lot of things. So yeah, that's why it's very, very important for us.
Super inspiring. Thank you both. Ogesa, I have some more questions queued up, but is there anything you'd like to add to that about the work?
Yeah, I think Bemeriki and Noah have said it in a very clear way of saying how regenerative is really important. I think in Africa, we actually did regenerative farming systems earlier until when corporate organizations came in to start selling seed and fertilizers to ruin the land. And that's when things went haywire. And we are not able to produce food without relying on these outputs, things from, these mechanized, chemical fertilizers and seed. And therefore, we are back at a level whereby we are realizing that that's not the way we should live. And therefore, we are bringing up back the old ways where we embrace our own systems that are natural, that are clean, that are just fresh. And you can get a tomato from your small farm and just throw it in your mouth and eat, and without worrying about the chemicals that you sprayed last night. So yeah, I think regenerative farming systems are a great thing to adopt, and everybody should do that. Thank you.
Incredible. We have a little bit more time, so I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about the challenges that you face in trying to implement regenerative approaches and regenerative work. Mariki.
Well, the challenge seems uniform. I can't speak now on behalf of yes, but the most challenging one, we cannot hide this, is that regeneration or permaculture is not something, it's not a system that you establish today and get the yield you want or you feel to get the very day. It is a gradual process. Therefore, one, the challenge is that the perception of people we work with, for them, they are accustomed to the normal agricultural systems. So to reach most of these people graduate from using inorganic matters to organic, it takes time. That's just like an internal. The challenge we face is just a lack of resources, limited resources, because we have like a lot of waste that is dumped in the settlement, but we are not in a position to collect it. And also constructing like shelters, because we have 3 markets in the settlement where we wish to establish a compost sites, whereby most of waste that is dumped there can be used as a compost. Then it will be again used by the community. Then the community could benefit from it. That is 1. 2, when it comes to mushroom, we find also another challenge of accessing especially organic or organic waste like maize, corn, and also maize stalk, rice husks, and the rest. However much they are scattered in the settlement, but taking them from the place they are to the sites of growing or to the store, that's the most challenging. Yeah, I guess that's my side. That is the only challenge we have.
Thank you, Mariki. Noah, is there anything that you'd like to share about challenges?
Yeah, I think, thank you so much, Ray. I think there is one big challenge that is coming up recently, and I think it's quite becoming big for us, is we've got to fight between quick gains, which are short, and the long-term better gains. And because we are working with refugees in settlements where there are so many other organizations that have a lot of big budgets, they tend to invest a lot of resources into synthetic fertilizers or chemicals to most of the farmers that you're working with. Of course, that will see the gardens are looking nice in just 3 months and they are happy. And then you coming here and you're telling them, no, using chemicals not good has to be manures, and you have to take that time, and it's going to take time for you. And sometimes we find ourselves being overpowered. But of course, I'm happy that we are slowly moving the trends to people accepting regenerative farming and organic ways of doing things to using inorganic. And that's in the long run when chemicals are very expensive. I can give a quick example of one of the farmers that was really very, very good and was practice organic farming. And then another organization took him over, and then he started applying chemicals, and his garden was looking good. Sadly, people stopped buying his food and his vegetables because they came with the chemical patches on them, and people were like, we don't want to buy this. And the yield was good. There was no market until he came back to us and said, oh, I think I'm right. I'm going to do this. So it takes a lot of our time and resources to change the mindset of the people that this is going to work, although in the long run, and try to fight those well-funded organizations that are actually promoting chemicals. I think that's a big challenge that we have. Of course, we're taking baby steps to getting there, but I know it's taking out of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. I see we have, which we'll get to quickly. Thank you, Sudeep. I just wanted to put a question forward for closing in a minute, which would be a two-part question. What is a dream you have for your community, and more importantly, how can people watching this who are committed to climate justice support you best? But while we have that question in mind, Sudeep, please go ahead. We only have a minute or two, so I hope we can answer your question.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much. Abarigani, my dear Bemarki, Bisimwa, and also another brother, Noah Simpia. I hope I'm getting your names close to your authentic one. I'm just curious, what do you get per kg if you take your mushrooms? I apologize, I might have missed the initial part. My 10-year-old daughter Sequoia was throwing cold water on me while I was sitting in the hot tub. So I apologize, I didn't catch some of that. But I'm very heartened to hear that you are, as part of this effort, growing mushrooms, which are wonderful living species. I'm curious what kind of varieties you are growing, and number two, what is the best price you can get in per kg? Because I made some observations in the recent past, and I can follow up with you. $20 a pound. $20 a pound is $10 per kg approximately. A portobello mushroom for like $5 US. Just one portobello mushroom in the market here. So I'm curious to hear. Thank you.
I'm wondering whether this is a great question, but I'm wondering whether this is something that we can connect you after the call to answer. It might be with currencies, we might go over time, but Noah, Bemariki, Wegesa, just a closing question. Sorry, it's going to be so quick, but what is your dream that you have for your community, and how can people on this call or watching later support the work that you're doing?
Okay,
I'll
go, Noah. It's
all
okay.
right. We work in Akiva refugee settlement where we have 150,000 refugees, and our goal is to reach at least 100,000 refugees in the next 3 years with regenerative farming activities. And we've so far done a great job, 1,500, and we're enrolling an extra 2,000 households that we are currently working on now. And so we are looking for funding to be able to achieve this goal. We've set up an online fundraising page through Global Giving. The donations are tax deductible. And I think that would be the first stage. But also, we are looking at like-minded stakeholders or partners who have the same, with whom we share the same, goal and vision that we can learn from and to be able to achieve this goal moving forward. Thank you so much.
Bemariki, go.
Yep.
Well, as far as Rwamwanja refugee settlement is the home to 95,000 currently, and its host community, because of the policy here in the settlement, once you implement in the settlement, the policy is that 70% is for refugees and 30% is for the host community. So we can.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
If Bamariki comes back, we can include him. But Wegesa, is there anything you'd like to add before we close?
I would just like to say on behalf of Regenaissance team, thank you so much. And those who are listening in, that we are transitioning communities, empowering them to be able to be sufficient and resilient in their like in food production, food security, ecological value for their ecosystems and landscape, and also to be able to be economically sound. What we're saying is that with any help or any donations through Regenaissance, we are able to do more to these grassroots organizations, and we are able to educate more, to learn to produce their own food in a cleaner and sustainable way. So we are seeking that if there is any support towards these community grassroots organizations, we are very, very grateful. And thank you so much for listening to us as we talk to you guys. Any questions, you can still reach us at Regenaissance, info@regenaissance.world. Thank you.
Thanks, Wegesa. Ruth, Faith, is there anything you'd like to close with? Right. I think we've got 1 minute left.
I just wanted to say there are quite a few resources in the chat, and then Ruth will close us out. But you can reach out to us at info@regenerosity.world if you have any other questions.
Yeah, I think Zach has a question as well. But just to say that, again, of course, we are currently fundraising for our next cohort. So all the projects that we saw today, all the organizations were our partners in the last 3 years, where we supported them through this 2-year peer capacity strengthening program. And we are about to launch. So we're still fundraising for that. So it would be amazing if you would like to contribute. But also part of our role is really to try and move funds to the grassroots. So feel free to also engage with the organizations directly and fund them directly. Our goal is really to continue to support our partners and make sure that they are connected into the wider networks that can support their work. I think Zach had a question as well, but I think we've reached the end of our presentation.
Yeah, we're at time. And Zach, please do put your question in the chat. We'll stay on the Zoom, and we'll reach back out to you. We would love to bring up the Empress from here.
Greetings all. Good afternoon. Thank you to all on the panel. Regeneration from the grassroots up. It is my pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Greetings, Ruth. Greetings. Good afternoon to everyone. I am here based in the UK, in Oxford, and I would like to firstly ask you all to unmute and share a round of appreciation in whatever is your cultural practice for all of the panelists that have just been sharing their fabulous work. I will start with a ululation and invite you all to unmute, and let's go. 1, 2, 3. We say thank you.
Thank you.
Obrigada. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I was about to ask, what is the most strongest mushroom that you found over there that has?
We're gonna keep moving, Zach. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat.
Yes, please put them in the chat. We're segueing now. I'd like to invite everyone for a bio break of 2 minutes. We're about to connect the live stream tech, and then move into a segment where I will be introducing some of the members of the Evoke Artivist Collective. This is a collective of artivists from the African diaspora, and we will be offering poetry and music for the next few minutes once we come back. So I invite you, you can keep your cameras on, just stay connected, stay in the room, and this live stream will happen. Thank you so much. Blessings to all, and see you in 2 minutes' time. Thank you.